Okay, folks, welcome back. Let's move this stuff out of the way. Alright, we just got it done with another car this morning. I think we finished it up this morning. I can't remember. It's all one big blur. Which means we're ready to tackle something else. Tackle something else. But this is the third car of the Italian team. The Italianesque team. We have a Lamborghini Miura, Diamacchini Veloce, which is just a make-believe car, and this Ferrari F40. And a shitload of Italian cars to do. I mean, like a shitload. So, these other two are relatively new, so these are going to go in the other bin. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of space for these. I guess I'll figure that out when I get there. Probably pack away the tanks and have the area that the tanks are in take over by the cars, because we've got a lot of stuff coming. A lot of stuff coming. And we haven't even touched the surface on some things for this game. Namely, war rigs. Namely war rigs, so. Alright. This thing on rotation. Yeah, let's move the fan a little bit further away. Alright. Just a little bit of air circulation. Nothing more than that. Okay. And let's go ahead and charge this thing, because we are rather low. So I inadvertently got some other vehicles. I guess it's a fucking addiction at this point. I need to clear this garbage can. I need a bigger garbage can. And we'll go over what we picked up once we get some more folks in the room here. If that were to happen. Man, there's so much waste and everything, you know? Well, we got this 8-ball blackout. Will I play with these guys? What's up, Joe? I don't know. I don't know when I'm going to play. I got to find some people to play with that have less free time. How you doing, man? Did you go to the convention? I didn't go and I didn't miss it. It's kind of like, I didn't miss a single convention until they did that whole you gotta wear a mask bullshit that ended up being like not a thing. And then I missed one. And then I'm like, all right, well, if I'm gonna miss one, then fuck it. I don't care if I have to go to all of them. You know? I can't say I've been to every convention since 2001. Well, I can't do that anymore. So, it just ends up being like not worth the value. And I have a good time. I've had a good time. Even the last time when I didn't play, I didn't know what I was going to play. I still had a good time, but it adds up. It ends up being, $300-400. And and a day off, and I'm like, honestly, I'm enjoying doing the podcast a lot more. You know, I can do it on my terms when I'm able to do it. You know. I saw that one of the vendors that disappeared off the face of the earth for years. Well, it makes it sound like it's 10 years, but for like 5 years. It's the guys that I bought the gates from, the Phalanx Consortium. I was like hounding them for years. When are you guys going to come back? Nothing. Now they came back. Well, now I'm not there. I guess I won't buy anything from them. People have their own reasons for going and not going, and I have my own. So I know that I've taken 2 days off in 2026. So it's got to be a really good reason, or I'm not going to take off. It's just wait. I get punished. You miss you. Well, you find somebody else that could terrorize you, I guess. I mean, I have a good time. I'd go to hang out. I don't even have to play fucking games. That's what I understand. Some people are like so hung up on, oh, you got to play games. No, you just got to socialize with people. You know, how's the new house, man? You feel like you should have always lived there? That's how I feel about this place. We should have just always been here. Odago. Yeah, I miss Odago too. Good times with Odago. But it basically boiled down to when I was doing DBA, man, I was doing everything in my power to make sure that I didn't waste my time. Tens of thousands of hours painting these armies, and then the game system would die and nobody would want to play anymore. And now I'm like, it's keeping me from doing other shit. You know? It's keeping me from doing. So I don't have any regrets about not doing DBA stuff. And it's, you know, I still don't have anything against the system. It's just like, there's not enough of me to do this to the degree that I want to do it, and then still do the other stuff. And it is so awesome to just go to Publix, and bam, there's like hobby stuff to buy. You know, that's really the other thing. There's always cool shit that you could find, and if you find something, it's like a fucking $1. So. Anyhow, yeah, I don't know how many people you guys are getting to play DVA, but I know that there's one person from Fanaticus, because I recognize their name, that is now going to the group, but I'm sure we probably lost 3 or 4 other guys. It's frustrating never to get to 20. So no matter what there's nothing I can do other than hold a gun to people's head. I don't really want to do that. And to get people to show up, you know, so. You like the house? Yeah. Yeah, we moved here and all of a sudden this place got civilized. You know, they're putting a Walmart in. I mean, not that Walmart is so civilized, but if you've got to go to one, you might as well have one close by to go to. Instead of driving 20 minutes, something like that into town. I rarely go into town anymore. You know, it's not that far, but I might go into town once a week, maybe. Okay. So what did we pick up yesterday? Is Hoffman here? Maybe Hoffman's not here. I hate to have to repeat myself. I know he's generally going to be interested in what I have, so maybe I'll wait a little bit on the Hoffman. So we've got this 8-ball burnout, and one of the things that I need to do, one of my tasks I need to do is I've got to put an order in for more of this mesh because I'm out of it. Now this is the mesh from Switchyard Studios. I've been very happy with it. They make kind of a tight patterned one and a more open one. This is the more open one. And I think it's actually more So I have to order, before I go to sleep, I have to order from Switchyard Studios. So order mesh for Gaslands, because I'm out. These little scrap pieces, that's all I have left of the large one. So I'm going to put the tight one on here just because I don't have enough of that to do this one. Okay? So I need to do that. Have to. Have to. What else do we have up here? Extra tires and stuff. These are the original tires that came off of this. I think this is called Hoto Roto. Okay. These wheels came from there, and then these are the wheels that came from the Diamachini Veloce, which is the car I just finished, the Jackal Scarlato, the Scarlet Jackal. And these are extra wheels of something else. So we're going to put these all in the extra wheel category. Which should be down here. Okay. Yeah, that's that. Man, these things sound cheap, because they are. I don't even know how I got them. They're definitely not Exacto brand stuff. I don't think they're even Pro Edge. I think they're the ones that came with the Nick Pro. So I'm going to go ahead and do this because I've talked about it before. I'm going to go ahead and reload these. So we've got several of these. Yeah, gotta have this place organized, man. I can't stand working in an environment where I can't find something that's right in front of my very nose, because there's so many other things that are running visual interference. Yeah, these really are a pizza chip. This is the one that we ended up cannibalizing for the wheel. So we got Maryland Manslaughter. This is the other parts of Maryland Manslaughter. I think she's going to have here's the other wheels that go on the back. This is the window for this, I believe. Let's do a check on it. I know I didn't seal it yet. It's not sealed. I think this is the one that goes to it. Maybe it is not. Oh, that's wacky if that's the case. It is the case. Okay. Well, let's see if this is improved at all by having a window in there. No. No, we're not going to put a window in there. Alright, so we're going to put mesh on this Joker, but we're going to put the tight mesh. Now, I haven't even designed this thing. All I know is it's for It's for the profits. It's a vehicle for the profits of petrol. The petroleum profits. I know it's probably going to have some horror perk. One perk from the horror. And I think I'm going to do some spikes on it. So let's go open one that does not have the weapons. Extra banding and stuff that can use for armor plates and things like that. Maybe. Alright, one of these has been started. That's this one. Alright. In here, there are spikes like this. And there's other things like that. So let me grab all the spiky bits. Here's some other spiky bits. It just looks like it should have spikes on it or something like that. Not that one. We got lots of them. Here's some smaller ones. Just a few. Does this thing need we'll leave a wing out there. I don't know if I'll use it on this vehicle, but let's pull it out there. I'm going to use one of these particular ones where we're going to put these extra pieces of the more open window. Yeah, it worked out. This convention was this was the first Huracan that they moved to a stupid time. They brought the conventions closer together to each other instead of pushing them farther apart. And I don't know if that affected attendance. Maybe it made more people show up. Who knows? This thing looks like it should have a ram. At least, let me go ahead and pull a ram out here. And there's one ram in particular that would work on here because it is pretty damn small. Not that something else could work, but it won't be that one. I think I still have one of them. It's just like a little teeth-like thing. It's very narrow. Maybe I used it on something. And I also have the new bits that I really have not. Here's a couple like spikes. Just feel like it needs to have spikes or something on it. I am not working on the rig, but you're here, so now I can talk about what I wanted to talk about. I didn't want to repeat myself, and you're probably the most interested person in what I'm about to show. So yesterday I went to Publix, and I ended up, picking up things inadvertently. Only a few things. I got one of these. I can't call it Sunny by name, but this is a Datsun 72 Datsun Sunny Coupe. Anything that's got a paint job like this with sponsors, number on the side of it, probably is not going to be repainted. Somebody went through all the trouble of putting some nice stuff on here. You might as well roll with it. So this is a Nissan Sunny Coupe. I already have one of these. And I want to build a car with one of the Formula One cars. But I don't want it to be the only Formula One car that I have. So this is the Aston Martin team. And the name of the car is probably going to be a play on one of their two drivers. either Fernando Alonso or Lance Stroll. So probably Stroll. He's probably one of the most disliked drivers. Reason he's disliked is basically his dad's like a Canadian multimillionaire that bought a Formula One team. And the reason he drives on it is because his dad's there. I mean, he's not a terrible driver, but he's definitely one of the worst ones. Nepotism at its finest, but yeah, I can fuck with this and not feel bad about, ruining something. So anyhow, I picked those up yesterday, and then today on the way home, I'm like, I don't think I picked up any Hot Wheels. Why? They're all Matchbox. I looked at those Matchbox rigs that you said, and they weren't very inspiring. I think Matchbox cars frequently are more inspiring than Hot Wheels. But the rigs just didn't. The ones that I looked through just, it just didn't call out to me. Okay, did we get any Hot Wheels at all? No, they're all Matchbox. All right. I kept the receipt so I could return these if I wanted to. Hey, I've returned them before, but I exchanged them. You're probably not old enough to remember these. Porsche is normally a car that has a reputation of being something like, really a lot of get up and go. Well, all of them except a 914. This is like a poor man's Porsche. And they'd probably still be too expensive. But they're like a two-seater. They're all, I don't even know how to describe what these things are, but they're not a standard Porsche. So we picked up that. I'd never seen one of those before. Honestly, and some of these I actually got because of the wheels. So this Mustang, why do you want a Mustang? Well, it's got awesome wheels. It's got awesome wheels. I might actually switch out those wheels and put it on something else. I don't know if that makes out what it has, but I'd like wheels like that on my car, to be honest with you. '19 Ford Mustang Coupe. All Mustangs are coupes, unless they're those electric things that aren't really Mustangs. Hey, don't take my word for it. The Mustang community doesn't like them. I had to pick this thing up. Aston Martin Vanquish. It's probably supposed to be some Vanquisher or something like that. Bright ass green color. But it's got the grille and everything's on there. It's just not painted. So this almost looks like a minivan. Not a minivan, a station wagon, but it's not quite. Doesn't tell you anything about it. You gotta look it up. Okay. Never seen one of those before. I picked this one up only because of the wheels. Not that there's anything wrong with having this Dune Beetle. Especially the front of it. The front of it's rather cute. But I got this specifically for the wheels. Well, that's expensive. You should see how much wheels cost on eBay, and then tell me what expensive is. That's cheap. You get 4 wheels for $1.25. I have a feeling my rig project is going to involve switching out all the wheels, all the Hot Wheels. I mean, a tractor trailer has to have tires that can hold up some weight. Having low profile, extremely low profile tires just don't work with the tractor trailer. And that's why I picked up this, because I had this Lamborghini already. Okay, it's a little undersized. This is a rather large vehicle, and it's definitely not the same scale as the other ones. It would normally be, 50% bigger. But this thing has great wheels, and I have another one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8 wheels I can use of these to go on one of the tractors. And then put, different wheels on it. Like, maybe put the wheels from the dune buggy on here. Or something like that. But these wheels would be great for one of the tractors. And I already have one exactly like this in this color. I've never seen one of these ever before. Sherp N1200. I have no idea what this is. I could look it up, but it's got big wheels on it. Big wheels. What do we got here? This is interesting. Never seen one of these. Matchbox Little Dumper. It's got good wheels. Got the same wheels that are on like the Defender. The Defender has wheels like this. Oh, interesting. It has a seat and a steering column, and this is actually the back of it. The front's over here. Okay. Cop car. Don't have this one. Already has a Ram on the front. It's a Ford, what is it, a Taurus? Looks like a Taurus. Matchbox City Airport Security. Okay. Last two. I got this one because of the wheels. Little Unimog. And last one is another one that I got for the wheels. I think this is the same wheels that's on this other one. It is. Porsche 911 Rally. They had two other one of these. I probably should have picked them up for the wheels. But this is like, these would be good for on a tractor. Okay, so that's what we got today. I'm looking forward to doing one of the Formula One cars. My one-day weekend is in effect. Thank goodness it's Wednesday, and Wednesday's almost over, so you're back to the salt mines. I thought you were close to being retired, man. Just retire. Don't be one of those people I need something to do. You know who doesn't need something to do? This guy. I don't need something to do. All right. We have not designed this vehicle. Eight-ball burnout. No, wait a second. I already have a vehicle that's something burnout. So let me rethink that. We're just going to call it 8-ball for now. Okay. Eighter hater. All right. I've never built a dragster, but this isn't dragstery enough for that. We're going to call this a car. That's 12 points. It's got 2 build slots. I was asking to have a RAM on it. Let's go look at our skills. She who must be obeyed will find things for me to do. Why is it that you never hear about, husbands that send women on the do list? Like, they're at work. This best shit better be done when I come back from work. How come I don't hear about that? I know, it's been happening for hundreds of years. Well, I'm new to this earth, relatively. I don't want my wife telling me what to do. I don't tell her what to do. I work today. This is technically my Friday. Okay, so you don't work tomorrow? I hate Fridays. I'm burned out by Friday. Okay. Looks great with having all this stuff not bright as hell. Alright, so spiky bits. Now the roof is slightly curved. I guess we need to figure out what the hell we're going to arm this thing with. Do these guys have any cars yet? Does this team have any vehicles that are already made? Let's see. Okay, they got that one. They got the Black Psalm. And they have the oversized, the overcompensating vehicle. Okay, Black Psalm is basically not armed. Not armed with any gun weapons. And Death Blow, that's what it is. Death Blow. Oh, and we also have the Iron Mercy. Yeah, we got Iron Mercy. We got Death Blow. God, Death Blow's big. And then we have the Black Psalm. That's the built vehicles we've had for these protagonists. Alright, so no weapons, a BFG, and a chain gun. Okay. You really like that buggy with the bigger wheels. I hit my camera. I did? What camera? The buggy with the big wheels. I have several of them like that. Like I said, I got it for the wheels. Let's see what weapons come in this pack. Because I'm just like, I cogitated about what I was going to do. I'm just going to fucking use them. And if I need to buy another one of these, I'll buy another one of these. I mean, it's a long ways. We got some chain guns here. I don't necessarily want to do that. 30 cal, some kind of a zapper of some sort. Double machine guns. I like these double machine guns. And it looks like they fit up really nicely on the roof. I guess we wouldn't have a ram then. You know, but I'm willing to like take something like this and just, you know, it behaves like a chain gun, but it's really like linked machine guns or something like that. You know, it's just like if you need it to behave a certain way. But that's fine. I won't look for a ram. This thing's got a ram. That thing's got a ram. I guess it probably shouldn't have a ram. Ah, what's up, Justinian? Next week, I'll have Friday through Monday off. I have a rotating schedule. I'll have an extended long weekend. Man, you need like a special calendar to figure that out. I'm sure you have it down. I wouldn't want that. That's just too much chaos. That's too much chaos. Maybe you don't have chaos in your job. I have a lot, so I don't want anything that's remotely chaotic extra. I just don't have the stomach for it. I don't want any surprises. I think this would fit nicely here on the roof. Or whatever the hell this thing is. No. So, if we did 2 HMGs, no, let's not circle that. We've been using that for point value. 2 HMGs. The HMGs are 3 times 2 equals 6. So this puts us at 18. Okay, it's got to have a smoke dropper. This will use the 2 build slots. The smoke dropper does not use build slots, I'm pretty sure. Snotlings. Yeah, I finally got the implements of car. I actually got both of them. They sent me the wrong one and then turned around and sent me the right one. So I got 2 of them for the price of 1. Really did a good job on that. So looking forward to ordering from Noble Knight again. They definitely did the right thing. I had to wait a little bit longer than for it, but it happens. All right. Let's go to the rules. Surprised you can't throw smoke grenades, but smoke dropper is 1 point. Okay, so now we're at 19. And we got to get to the magic 27. So that's 8. Picked up us 12 pack of snotlings. Well, the closest I've come to play a Warhammer thing would be, what's the dungeon crawl one? Hero Quest. But that'd be a lot of stuff to paint. That's a lot of stuff to paint. Okay, these are the silly ass teams. Where's the perks after this? Alright, we're going to go to horror. And see if there's anything that... I'm not using horror for anybody else. Purifying Flames. Okay, so you take damage so somebody else doesn't. Okay. Ecstatic Visions. Okay, you take hazards to discard from somebody else. Sympathy for the Devil. When this vehicle makes an evade check, okay, so somebody's trying to ram you, and you don't want to sit there. You want to evade it. The controller may select a friendly vehicle within medium range. Add the current gear of the selected vehicle to this vehicle's current gear for the purpose of this evade check. Both the selected vehicle and this vehicle suffer any unsaved damage from this attack, including any additional effects. No. Highway to Hell, at the end of its movement step, this vehicle selected. If this vehicle selected a straight template, this vehicle may suffer 2 damage. This damage counts as having the fire rule. If any, okay, no. Violent manifestation, when it's respawned, he comes back with a boom, okay? And then Angel of Death Fork. Okay, so we're not going to do any horror perks. Do a Barbie car. I already did a Barbie car. I did. It's the Bimbo Bomber. I noticed that they've got that in purple now. Okay, so this looks like something menacing. So what do we have that's menacing like? Aggression. Double-barreled, no. Boarding party, no. Battle hammer. Terrifying lunatic. See, terrifying lunatic is a skill that needs to be redone. On the surface, whenever a vehicle controlled by another player ends its movement step within short range of this vehicle, the active vehicle gains a hazard token. So if you get close to this thing, you gain a hazard. And it's really hard to end within short and not be like ramming somebody. I mean, short is really, really short. Your son had you paint orcs from his Armageddon set when I was visiting, painted like they were in blue jeans and wife beaters. Honey, I'm home. What? I'm having a beer. Don't make me beat you again. Grinder Man involves a smash attack. Road Warrior. Once per activation, this vehicle has successfully caused 1 or more hits on the enemy vehicle at any point. During its activation, this vehicle may remove a single hazard token at the end of its step. Okay, yeah, but this doesn't... What about the one where you chase people the fuck down? What's it called? Pursuit. Outrun. At the start of this vehicle's attack step, all vehicles within short range of this vehicle and in a lower current gear than this vehicle gains a hazard token. Okay, I think Taunt looks pretty good. Oh, I'm not going to be able to write with that. I'm also going to put Outrun. I'm going to give this thing a hot start. Basically, roll a d6, that's what gear you start in. Only cost 1. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I've got 3 left. I'm going to give this thing a magnum. Eight ball blackout is what it was called. 8-ball blackout, not 8-ball burnout. 8-ball blackout. That's what it is. I am doing a semi-trailer, just not right now. Okay, so we got engines and stuff to paint on here. We've got this mesh to put on it. I got this spiky bit. I think we're going to try there. Let's use the Stickum for this. This is what it's for. So on the roof, you have to imagine that this is painted black. Or, you know, not a light color. That's going to be something like that. I've got some spiky bits here. I don't want to get too carried away because the problem with it is it's not going to have this weapon system. So I don't want to put all kinds of cool shit like, oh man, it must have a RAM on the side. No, it doesn't. Oh, okay, well it must have something. You know, it's like I don't want it to send the wrong message. I find that annoying. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna glue this in place. Use the back of the X-Acto knife. And I'm going to like this back here. But that's actually why I got some of these cars. It's specifically for the wheels. The wheels specifically for the semi. Oh man, I'm falling asleep, man. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. Shit. Problem is I've been having coffee in the evenings. Like 1 cup. And it's just enough energy to keep going. But it's just enough energy that if I wake up earlier than my alarm and it really throws me off. Like I was out of bed at like 3:30 today. I mean, I went to bed really early, but I don't think there's any repercussions to, well, now that I think about it, there might be. Well, we're just going to roll with the punches. Painting battle web belts on 28mm World War II Canadians. Hollywood Germans are on deck. What makes them Hollywood Germans? Are you a Hollywood German? No. As opposed to Bollywood Germans. Looking at some 28mm Japanese infantry lately, decided against it for now, but still want to paint some NRA Chinese and Imperial Japanese. What the hell is NRA Chinese? They're basically pro-gun Japanese Chinese. This might actually work better. Or not. Germans are very generic looking. Hollywood is my inspiration. Are they like old Hollywood where they spoke German to other people? Like those subtitles or anything? You know, like Battle of Britain. I think all the Germans in Battle of Britain all speak English. Generic looking Germans. Like something you normally say with the Russians. They're just generic looking Russians. What are you talking about? Man, this is going to be a little bit more challenging than I was expecting. I know this sounds crazy. I got half of mine just go to bed. that sounds freaking crazy. Crazy talk. Crazy talk. One of the first things I like to do is just go ahead and just get rid of these other colors. Just paint those bits black. It helps you focus your attention on what it really looks like. Distractions, distractions, distraction. Haven't sat a single one day until I started watching. Single one all. Haven't had a single one all day until I started watching. Oh, so everything's calm. You start watching, you start getting pinged by all kinds of shit. Yeah. Yeah, shit like that happens at work. You'll call somebody, try to get a confirmation, is not there. Leave a message, figure, okay, let me go pee. So they come back and call. They call while I peed. They didn't check their message. Hey, I heard somebody called me from here. Call me back if you need it. Mrs. has me doing lawn work I already planned to do tomorrow. My missus has told me I'm not doing lawn work. I got a fucking acre. Not by choice, is what the house came on. I'm like, I'm not getting a riding lawnmower that costs multiple thousands of dollars just for the privilege of mowing a lawn. And I always did all my lawn mowing, but now it would take forever now. It would take way too much every other weekend, you know. Actually getting things done while washing. All right. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna stay online. I'm gonna go make another coffee. I know, I won't even go to sleep then. Hey, somebody's gotta be on. Everybody's on some kind of drugs. I might as well be on ones that are legal. Oh man, I meant to look in here. Well, we're gonna look in there when I get back. I'm gonna go make myself another coffee. Another iced coffee, anyways. That's going to take a little bit. Alright, this is the Implements of Carnage 2. There's a couple of buggies that come in here. Little RC car. That's what I do. I want to get something done, I'll put on like a podcast or something like that. Now I got all kinds of stuff to listen to because, in case you haven't heard, my daughter actually got me back into watching Formula One. Although I'm watching it a lot more that and that Netflix show. So, and the video game too. So I don't want to watch something and not participate. So the only way you can participate in something like that is play a video game. I don't think that there's. This is pretty much just the buggies. I don't think that there's really anything else. So I guess I didn't make a mistake not going in here. But I'm going to use this. I'm not going to be like, oh, I got to make coffee. Maybe I don't even think I'm even going to do it with the figures. I'm just never going to get around to doing it. You know, I got enough on my plate. YouTube is throwing bazillions of political commercials. So, you know, I don't get to pick what you guys get thrown at, right? Are the political commercials appealing to you, or are they like the opposite of what you would? Or are they non-convincing? I mean, I don't want to listen to any of them. But when I've gone to YouTube channels and I get commercials thrown at me, they're usually not like something I'm like dead set against. You know? Like I'm not a devout political person, but there's some things that just don't make any fucking sense to me. The buggies build well. Well, that's good. I may actually have to rethink this because this has got a lot of bend in it. I think I've just rethought it. We're gonna make whatever the barriers. We're gonna make this out of Out of my sheet stock. This. Cottage cheese. I should buy stock in cottage cheese. I think I have. I just wish this stuff wasn't so slippery. Imagine if I could use weld cement on this stuff. That'd be pretty great. Got 2 brand new ones. Let's use them. All right. This does not need to be, perfect. So yeah, when I came back from the Bay Area, and I don't mean San Francisco, on Sunday, man, I was entertained. There's all kinds of shit to listen to. So enjoying that. As a mailman, I appreciate the income of political mailers, but they're tedious. The YouTube political ads are mostly repeated and universally despised. Like the worst ads are ones for attorneys. Nobody likes fucking attorneys. Because they just flat out lie to you. They're like worse than politicians. Okay, so... Whew. Yeah, I could probably bend this like Beckham. The front might be a little bit different, but the back certainly does not need to follow a contour. It could be straight across, just like, cover this opening, or something. I don't like billboards, but billboards are advertising attorneys. Oh, that one guy, they got a guy around here. What's his name? Dan Newland. Dan Newland got me $4 million. I'm like, well, how much did that fucker make my insurance go up? This isn't like, you've got a metal detector, and these guys are just driving around looking for metal detector and see what they can dig out of the sand. Looking for buried treasure. Oh, look! I found you a couple $100 million. Yeah, we're double fisting it. I don't want to go to sleep. It's not even fucking 8 o'clock. It's just barely 8 o'clock. Mincy makes them pay. Is that one of your... He's an attorney / gangster. Hey, Mincy, make them pay. Mincy. What are you... You got something cool here? Yeah, but I don't want to use any of this shit here. We did use one of the Rams on this on the Scarlet guy. What's that? Oh, an intake. Well, that looks nice. This thing's wacky enough without having something like that. Let's see. Like what people, I don't have any money. I'll vote for free shit. I'll vote against any tax in the book. They got this thing going, like, they got this thing that I don't think will ever pass, but they're gonna do away with homestead exemption, homes taxes on your property here in Florida. And you think a lot of people came down here first? That would just we'd be overwhelmed. Nobody want to live anywhere else, even if they get you in other ways. That's just gonna open the door to. I don't want to put this arm around you. I don't want to put that on there either. Gotta be something that just like. This is that ram I was looking for. Mine could have worked. Mike could have worked. Man, I don't know what I'm gonna do back there. I don't know what I'm gonna do back there. Nah, it doesn't really work. Doesn't touch. I have to really rig it up. Really? I'm gonna get a huge fucking garbage can. Like, put a couple things in there and it's like full. None of it's food or anything, Okay. Sides are easy. I think let's do some wider pieces. This stuff is very lubey, meaning it's got a lot of very rubbery properties to it. It's very slippery, so to speak. Yeah, people say they really dislike those commercials, but unless it's on like YouTube or like I don't watch any television. The only TV I'm watching now has no commercials. And I don't know that I'd watch any TV at all if I wasn't watching it with someone that's family. I mean, I'd rather be doing this than just sitting around, let's see what somebody else created. I think we can glue this. The People's Republic of Glueland. Gluelandia. It's actually worked pretty well once I realized, oh, you need to shake these things up because it separates these gel type things. watch local news for several years. The local news here has a Facebook page. And people go off on them when they start reporting something like, you know, little girl gets killed in home invasion or something like that. Oh my God, what the happened? And it's like in freaking Wyoming. Like, why are you reporting on that? You know? It's like somewhere it's not only is it not even local, it's in a place that most people locally wouldn't even go visit. Yep, that does have enough space. What made you stop watching the local news? Don't have a good looking weather girl or something. I don't know, I'm asking. Here we go. Yeah, we have this local weather person. And she's an older lady now. I mean, she's not like ancient old, but she's probably in her late 60s, maybe early 70s. And she's been like the anchor woman of the local TV station for always. Like, since we moved to this town in 81, she was so they must either compensate her well or she just lacks any motivation to go get another job. But I mean, she's been in that role for more than 40 years. And that's a pretty fluid job, I think. You know, you don't see somebody who's like a journalist that's in that role for like ever, unless you're like the little short guy off the Weather Channel, him or Barbara Walters or somebody like that that's been for always. You know, aside from your favorite weatherman being arrested for child porn, I guess it was a change of if cable services besides you're usually on when I'd be watching. Sorry. I'm saving you from the dribble. All news people, all they do is promote bad shit. They show you how much worse humanity is than you thought. Like, I already have a pretty low opinion of humanity. They make it even worse. It's like, I'm going to go ahead and put this like little screen on it. I think that kind of goes okay with the branding. If I don't like it, I'll take it off. Well, for what it's worth, I wish I could just be around all day long doing this, but I've done that before. Get most news from the radio. I don't live in a bubble. I listen to both sides. I don't want to listen to either side. They're both liars. And they don't care if they lied to you. I'd be like, I'd take it as a personal offense if somebody said that I lied to them. I mean, you're only as good as your word. Once people realize you're not telling the truth, why would they believe anything you have to say? Yeah, I think we can do that there. It's usually through omission where lies can be found. Well, there's lack of integrity for sure, all around. I wouldn't want to be in some kind of line of work, but that's kind of the norm. And just like, oh yeah, tell them whatever to get them off the phone, or you can always say that's not what you meant, or I have a child porn story to talk about. No, it's not what you think. We had this guy many years ago. Well, see, I was already married. So, maybe it might have been 20 years ago. And this guy that lived in the neighborhood that my parents lived in at the time was an attorney. And my parents were having some kind of an issue, like they needed to write a letter by an attorney basically saying that they had a claim like on something on their roof, like a branch or something fell on the roof, and the insurance didn't want to pay. What else is new, right? And I don't mean frivolous lawsuits, like, that's what you have insurance for, right? They don't want to pay. So they needed an attorney to write a letter. So they found one of their neighbors close by their house who happened to be an attorney. And he's like, hey, can you write this letter for me and we'll pay you? He's like, no, I don't want you to pay me. I'm getting ready to run for judge. I've told this story before. You may not have heard it, but I've told this story before. I think I've told this story before. It's like, I'm getting ready to run for judge, and instead of paying me, I'd like for you to just get some of your acquaintances around at your house at a certain time, and I'll do a talk with them and talk them through, basically my spiel, my platform, what I'm running for, so they could vote for me. Okay. So he does this, right? And I went there with the wife, and okay, yeah, whatever, kind of a sleazy looking dude, but I don't like salesy people, and I don't like sleazy people. I don't like either one of them. So, but anyhow, this guy does not win election, and then come to find out, like, within a year, he gets arrested for child pornography. Now, and he supposedly was falsely accused, whatever, and he does time in jail. Now, let's back up a little bit. You're an attorney, and you can't get out of jail time. You're definitely fucking guilty. That would be like me getting lost. Okay, like, I'm not perfect. I don't get fucking lost, right? That's like what I fucking do. I don't get lost. I deal with maps all day long. That's like an attorney not being able to get out of something. Like, you must be like really fucking dirty. Or somebody's out to fucking get you, right? Like, you made enemies and it just falsely, I'm just saying, if an attorney can't get themselves out of a pickle, they're guilty. You were intel in the army. I don't think I would have done well in the service. Too much bullshit. Too much bureaucracy. I hate bureaucracy. Absolutely hate bureaucracy. I've been tasked to do something. Let's get it done. Not come up with excuses to make it more difficult. No. Get somebody else that has too much free fucking time on their hands. That's extremely frustrating. I was on the phone with somebody today, and it wasn't a customer. It was something where I was the customer. And this person is one of the most... I literally want to know with this person where they hatch people like this, because I never want to visit that place. This person was a special kind of stupid. And they didn't sound like they were my daughter's age. They sounded like they should have been old enough to figure that out. But I'm going to put a little divot in the end of these machine guns. Just a little bit. That little bit of detail makes a big difference. You don't have to be very deep. Just put a little divot in there so it just shows some depth. That's it. Just a little something something. And of course, one of the things you got to remember is this is running all kinds of interference on your... Because it's not black. It's like, man, that's not going to look good because it's just like loud. It's like loud on there. All right, now we will take the sides of this. I'm going to take this one that I cut out, wherever the hell it went. I'll cut another one out. I don't give a shit. Was it this one? It was this one. And we're going to do a little windows on the side. Now, I'm going to do this one NASCAR style. Means straight up and down, not at an angle. And then we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4 runs. Yeah, I can't stand salesy people. So just fucking honest. Well, that fits right there. The other thing I can't stand is when people can't take no for an answer. I get a lot of phone calls at work. A lot of phone calls from people that won't take no for an answer. So I screen every fucking call. I probably get 8 or 10 of them a day. And if you engage them, first I'm like, all right, let's keep this person from calling me. It makes it worse. Okay. I just ignore the fuck out of him. And most of them are smart enough not to leave a message. It's not like I'm the first person to ever reject them in their life. But this one lady called me the other day that wanted to know why the hell she had submitted everything in an email. And she wanted to know how we could use her services. I'm like, we don't have a fucking need for it. And you can't, like, waste time answering that because, you know, like 4 things, I'm putting out fires while you're doing that. So I just found out the easiest way is just ignore the fuck out of those people. And unless you're a sadist, don't move to greener pastures. Well, this lady, who I didn't even know who the hell she was, left me like a nasty gram of a voicemail. And I thought, you know, I'm gonna call her back and light her up because I don't do shit like that to my customer. You know, like, I'm not going to lose you like that. You already have a chip on your shoulder. I'm like, fuck them. Not worth it. If I didn't use you before, I'm certainly not going to use you now. You got a shitload of baggage, lady. Okay, I think we're good to glue these 2. I have a rule. If I'm somebody's customer, they better not create extra work for me. And the same thing goes for me. I better not be creating any extra work for our customer. Right? They have enough stuff that's the direction everything flows. It's not like, well, we got to kiss the ass of people that we're their customer and our customer. I'm like, no, wait a second. I'm not paying for everybody's fucking sins. Like, I got shit I got to do. And I'm just not dealing with anybody anymore that doesn't pull their own weight. You know? Right, if somebody says they got the ball and then they don't have the ball, you get 1 shot and that's it. You're out. You're not screwing me a second time. It's not like, all right, well, we didn't get this, but we'll get it tomorrow to catch everything back up. That's fine. But like, I don't know how we're going to get it. No, not dealing with you. You're creating more work for me. Don't feed the troll. That's right, fuck them. I love ignoring the living fuck out of people. Does some people crazy. But it's just gotten to the point where I screen every single phone call. Every single phone call. Unless I know who it is, it's going to go right to voicemail. I could be right there. I'm not going to pick it up. And then I'll immediately check what it is. Realize, oh, okay, and I call them right back. But doing the right thing and let me engage and make them understand that we don't need them, that just... Next thing you know, I've wasted 15 minutes. 3 other problems happened during that time. Nope. No, not my first rodeo. This has been happening for decades, so. All right, I think we can glue this on the top. Yeah, I don't engage in like shit like that on Facebook. I've had a couple of run-ins, specifically in Gaslands. People want to get smart with me. I'll just block them. I'll never hear from them again. If they catch on fire and they need me to pee on them, I guess they'll just burn to a crisp. So I don't know that they exist anymore. And that's just some people that just get in there and be nasty. Because I'm not nasty to anybody. Like, there's lots of stuff I don't see. I don't need to comment on it. And I demand the same kind of respect. You know, I don't get in arguments with people online. I'm not putting up with it. Like, I'll just block your ass. You're dead to me. I had to do that on 2 or 3 people in different Gaslands group. Never happened in DBA. I guess it's just these fantasy fuckers that, you know, never had their ass beat at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you know? Don't know who their dad is. All right, that's looking pretty good, I think. It's kind of hard to tell because there's so many discolored things here. I think at this point we're going to prime those other things, get everything looking all the color it's supposed to be. Did I kill another coffee? No, not yet. Yeah, I can't stand when people waste my fucking time. Especially when they get to go on vacation. Fuck them. Although a couple of the Hot Wheels groups, not necessarily the Gaslands group, the Hot Wheels groups are really bad. Hey, I got this the other day. How much is it worth? And just all the trouble that people go through doing some kind of a long response, like, people must just like the right. I hate the right. I'll come on here and maybe bitch about them saying something, but I'm not going to sit here and write and have to point and counterpoint and, you know, that's good for like people that like, you know, couldn't make it to pass the bar. Then they want to like argue about shit all the time. I ain't got time to argue with things. I don't want to convert anybody. I don't want to tell people what to do, and I certainly don't want them telling me what to do. I think this will look pretty good, but I don't know yet. We gotta get all these dissimilar things. This little spiky thing looks like I don't even remember what the hell they're called anymore. Those little fishmen. The little fishmen from World of Warcraft. I don't remember what the hell they're called. They're like fishmen. I say they're low level, but some of those creatures get, a nastier version of a really crappy version, and they're, a little higher. Can't remember what they're. I want to say I think they make a sound like that. Now that I think about it. Shit, I haven't played that in 20 years. Has it been 20? Yeah, I probably haven't played it in 20 years. One of my characters still around. And they'd run like this. They'd run with like their arms behind them, like charging you. If I remember correct. Fish creature. What the fuck are those guys called? I could find anything on the internet. Fish creatures from World of Warcraft, low level.
In World of Warcraft, low
level. Whoa. Use a sexier voice. Well, that didn't work. What are the fish-looking creatures in World of Warcraft? They're a low-level enemy. Murloc. The sound. They are infamous for making a distinct gurgling aggro sound, usually described as yeah, exactly. Murloc. What does a Murloc in World of Warcraft sound like? What, no sound? Yeah, these fuckers. Yeah, those little spiky things remind me of that. I mean, I hadn't seen one in 20 years. But that was one of the first games I encountered where you can't do shit by yourself. It just gets to a point where you have to interact with other people. And I'm like, I don't mind that if I know who they are. But just random people that are going to be here today, gone tomorrow, like, no. I don't want the investment. Okay, now it's looking a little bit more sinister. I was never good at that aspect of MMOs. Well, so the first thing, I found out about that game on a trip that I went to Miami. Okay? And one of my wife's, is it cousin? I guess it would be a cousin. That's probably the easiest way to describe it. It was a gamer. But not, a historical gamer. He played video games and did and they happened to be, and he wasn't a kid. I mean, he was younger than I was, but I don't know, he probably 10 years younger than I am. So not something ridiculous. And he was playing as World of Warcraft. And I've always even at that point, I already liked Blizzard stuff. I don't like everything Blizzard's come out with. I'm not a fan of StarCraft shit. But I'm like, I thought it was pretty cool. But it was the first game where there's a couple things I encountered that were new to me, and I don't necessarily like. And one of them is like you basically have to cut a swath because these creatures keep respawning. So if you're going from point A to point B and there's creatures in the way, you have to kill them, and you have to kill them in a way that you don't draw all too many of them towards you, and you got to do it quick enough so that they don't respawn and you're like overwhelmed from both sides. I'd never encountered a game that was like that. I'm like, all right, well, you've got to be powerful enough to be able to knock them back so that you don't get overwhelmed. And also, it was the first game where you just couldn't like buy a bunch of like health potions. You buy like a million health potions and pop them off as you need them. You didn't, because there was like a cooldown time for each potion of, I don't know, 30 seconds or something like that. So, if you had like 4 potions, that's it. You got to wait 30 seconds for it to recharge. And I'm like, that's new to me. Like, I don't know what the hell that is. So, like, I go and create my first character. I was like, it'd be kind of cool to create like a skeleton type warrior. Well, they don't make any skeletons, right? They make these zombie type creatures that have too much skin on them and just look weird. And I'm like, all right, I'll play one of their warriors. I didn't know what a fucking tank is. Somebody said, what's a tank? Yeah, a Sherman, a Panther, Panzer IV. That's a tank. No, a tank is just a character. It doesn't do that much damage, but it just sits there to absorb damage. I'm like, all right, so they're pretty hardy, but they can't really heal themselves. I'm like, what do you mean you can't heal themselves? Just use one of the potions. Oh, it doesn't work that way. I'm like, the game just didn't jive for me. I don't mind being cooperative with other people, but I don't want to have to be cooperative. Sometimes you just don't feel like interacting with people. Or, you get turds that you don't want to interact with. So I ended up playing a couple different characters, and the one that I ended up enjoying the most is what I like to call the thieving bitch. It was a rogue that was female. It was a human, and I love playing humans. Okay, I'm not one of those people. It's like, I'm an ugly human, so I'm gonna play a halfling. No, I want to play a fucking human, because you know what? I'm glad I'm born a fucking human. So I played some human, a thieving bitch, and she would sneak around, and people would get into a fight, and I would like go around and and I would go and steal the treasure from them, whatever. And just try to find goods. It's all about finding shit. And it just gets to the point where you have to get better gear. You have to interact with other people. And there has to be a certain number of, there's got to be like a healer and at least a tank. It's just like, you waste time upon time just waiting to try to get the right group of folks. And then somebody botches it, and then you wasted 4 hours and you didn't get any loot. It's like, what a waste of fucking time, Now, if you had everybody in one room, like if you said, hey, we're going to make this group, and here's our guild or whatever the hell it's called, and we're called, Monster Slayers Anonymous or whatever, and we're going to meet over at Tony's house, right? And we're all in a LAN, so to speak, and we can just physically talk to each other, okay. But typing shit, F that. I hate typing stuff, I can't fat finger my way out of a conversation, It just takes way too long. It's too much work. So, I don't know if people still play that game. I'm sure they do. Not my idea of a good time. I play video games, but I rarely interact with other people. It's a pain in the butt. I never played, what was that ugly looking one? EverQuest. Never played EverQuest. Looked like ass, in my opinion. Just didn't like the look of it. I didn't like the interaction of the menus, that kind of stuff. Hey, that's why there's different video game companies. Some of them don't appeal to you. I've never been a fan of Bethesda games. The way that Bethesda does their menus and stuff, it just doesn't appeal to me. Sorry, I'm sure there's some great people that work for that company. It's just not my thing. I even try to give it a fair shot. What's that Dungeons and Dragons one that's called that came out a couple of years ago that won all kinds of awards? Everybody says it's a great game. Has no replay value, and it just has everything I dislike about a role playing game. You know, if I'm going to play some kind of a role playing game or what I call a role playing game, I want like an action shooter like Diablo. You know, like there's some fantasy stuff. There's loot defined. There's a couple different like clicks and stuff you can do. I don't want something where you're just pressing one fucking button like an Atari thing. But I don't want something that's so damn complicated where you're like searching for traps and you got to use this one magic potion, but you can only use it once a day and it's got to recharge. You know, and you know you can play your character, you can design your character however you want, but you're going to encounter somebody that's like half troll, half alien. You know. It's you know a third troll, a third alien, and a third sperm whale, because it's trying to be inclusive. Like it just gets too weird, And then who else is in the group? Well, we got Walrus Man, and and Bird Woman. It's like somebody who's like half bird and half female. It's like stop being so fucking inclusive. Can we all just be fucking humans? Elder Scrolls games were some of your favorite as a kid. I never liked their interaction, the interface. I don't know which one I played. I'm going to say it's Oblivion. May not have been Oblivion. I go to this town, and every build, it reminded me of Quake. I never liked Quake. I was a big fan of the Wolfenstein 3D games and Doom. I liked Doom. Never liked Quake. It just seemed like a land of Minecraft. Like every building was like the same, and it just bored me incessantly. Just looking at the look of it. So I never liked Quake, and I felt like that the Oblivion that I played was the same way. It's okay. It just didn't appeal to me. Just like that the Fallout stuff. I don't care for the Fallout stuff. I played one of them, and I'm like, this is just like a wasteland of like creatures that just don't make any sense at all. No, not everything can appeal. I didn't say it was trash. It just doesn't appeal to me. As opposed to Half-Life, the first Half-Life that I picked up on a Sunday night about 8:00 at night, and whenever that was, 2001. It was before I was married, so it was even earlier, 2001. We'll call it 1999. On my gateway, I went to Walmart, picked it up. I heard things about Half-Life. I don't know, 20, $30, whatever the hell it was. It had already been out for like a year, maybe 2 years, something like that. I picked it up, put it up on the computer like 8:00 at night on a Sunday, and stayed up all night playing it. I went to work with no sleep. That was when I was younger. That was a great fucking game. Great game. Great storyline, immersive, intense. I don't know what Quisp is, but there was a time period when I played a lot of those. Duke Nukem 3D. There was a couple of ones that were like knockoff. There was like one called like Blood, right? There was one like Blood where you're like a vampire hunter or something like that. Hexen. Maybe you had like a wand you would zap at people. It's just basically Doom by, with other stuff. And then there was this one that I can never remember. And every time, and I forget it and mention it, and I can't remember what the hell it was. And it was really, 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 really unique compared to all the other ones. And we're talking like early 90s stuff. And it was really unique because you were like a superhero. And so you had like spells and powers you could do, but you also could get in vehicles. And it was the first game I ever played where you could go and get in a vehicle, like a tank, and like drive the tank around, and shit like that. It wasn't a World War II game. It was fantasy, or I would even say it's science fiction. And I always forget what the fuck it's called. And it was very unique because, I wouldn't play it now. It looked like, melted asshole, but, Quaker branded. Breakfast cereals. Quakers aren't fun at parties, I think. That's why they got kicked out of Europe. I'm guessing. Well, you know, video games are fun, but what I realized is video games are stressful. As a general rule, especially if you're doing shooters, you're constantly fighting fires, getting pulled from point A to point B, and, you know, you're being harassed. You're being harassed. And unless you like being harassed, I'm sure there's somebody out there, it's not very relaxing. Whereas opposed to this, that, you know, no matter what happens here, it's just fine, you know? No worries, mate. I'm going to go ahead and paint that shield like metallic. Even that, it'll give us an opportunity to rust something up. Breakfast cereal wars in the 1960s. I would have thought that would have already been settled by then. I stopped watching Saturday morning cartoons when I started wargaming. Like, I don't want to watch cartoons. I want to go roll dice. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hot glue gun this fucker together. Uh-oh. Guess that's what happens when you leave this thing in here when it's hot. Put it against a plastic bag. Crisp. Supposed to crisp. Cookie Crisp. Remember Cookie Crisp? I remember when that was state of the art. These tiny little fucking cookies. I've had many of a dinner that consists of cereal. I mean, it hasn't happened in 20 years, but 20 years? Probably. Maybe even longer than 20 years. You know, big box of Apple Jacks and go to fucking town, you know, whatever. Wasn't cornflakes, that's for sure. I remember when I made that mistake as a kid. I'm like, oh, let me get this grape nuts. This looks like it's granola. The fuck it does. It's made out of like MDF. MDF probably tastes better. Okay, this thing doesn't look bad. Of course, you still have weathering to do on it, obviously. We got some parts to paint, some dissimilar type metals, but for the most part, pretty easy build. All we did was added a couple things on there, some guns. I'd look pretty good. Quake had a miner as a mascot. Quisp had an alien. What are we talking about now? I mean, I thought you were talking about breakfast cereal. Quisp. What the fuck is Quisp? It's famous for taste being practically identical to Captain Crunch, but with a lighter texture it won't scratch the roof of your mouth. Oh yeah. Quisp was a hyperactive pink alien with a propeller hat. Quake was a burly underground miner. What the hell? When is this? 1972. I was shitting in a diaper in 1972. As long as you have milk, you'll never run out of grape nuts. Is that their tagline? And to think we drank whole milk. That's like freaking cream. I'm not anti-milk, but I never drink milk. Never. I won't like. I mean, the girls do, but like, why would I drink milk? I'm not having cereal with anything. Why? I mean, it's not like I'm anti-milk. It's just, it's something you drink that makes you thirstier. The problem with those sugary cereals is just basically like crack. You just can't get enough. It's like you get I still have milk left over. Let me put more cereal. You put cereal. Oh shit, I need more milk. Oh, I got too much milk. I need more cereal. Next thing you know, you eat the whole fucking box. You eat the whole fucking box. All in one sitting. Have I heard about Ewell Gibbons? I want to say you mentioned him before. I don't know what it is. Ewell Gibbons. That's a very odd first name. Sounds like somebody that would be from Kansas or something like that. Newspaperman. He looks like somebody I've seen before. At least. Yeah, I don't know who the hell he looks like, though. Here. Maybe he's a bit Burt Lancaster looking or something like that, if that's what I'm thinking of who it is. No. Ewell Theophilus. Theophilus, that sounds like a disease. What's that guy died from? He's got Theophilus. What did he die from? Bad. Ever eat a pine tree? Many parts are edible. I would eat a pine tree before I eat bugs. I don't eat fucking bugs. They're high in nutrients. The fuck they are. I'm not eating snails or bugs or anything like that. Hate trees. Well, they're not gross. The idea of eating a tree is not disgusting. The idea of eating a cricket, fuck you. I'm eating a damn cricket. But there's nothing wrong with plants. That's like people that are like, I hate eating vegetables. What's wrong with you? Never heard of him. So he's like the Richard Simmons of your generation. Meaning people now wouldn't know who Richard Simmons was. You ever seen, one of the funniest things is, and I'm assuming you haven't seen it, Richard Simmons on Whose Line Is It Anyway? That was fucking hilarious. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That's like, don't watch that on a full bladder. Okay. Well, shit, we'll probably get done with this today. I mean, there's, the fact that it's black sure speeds up the damn process. I don't think we need this for anything else. Slightly younger folks. Does that mean slightly younger? I don't know. I still feel like I'm 25. Just 30 years of shit I'm not going to put up with. Look at that picture. I'm like, what in the Mutual of Omaha Wild Kingdom is that guy? What in the Mr. Green Jeans is that guy? I don't remember much about the 70s, thankfully. People wore some weird shit in the 70s. Weird shit. Like, no wonder you guys were on those drugs. Makes you weird. That's how you're wearing it. I know you're wearing a weird shit. He was parodied all through the 70s on comedy shows. Okay. Well, that's a terrible name, man. Yeah, I don't remember a lot of shows from the 70s because, you know, because my parents were first generation Americans, so they didn't necessarily watch stuff that was like popular. Like they wouldn't watch like All in the Family or something like that, you know. And I had an older dad anyway, so he wouldn't have watched something like that anyways. That's too modern for him, you know. Older dad. Fuck, he was younger than I am now. Yeah, but he didn't play with fucking toys, okay? I'm serious. This shit keeps me young, for whatever, you know? I went through a drive-through a couple months ago, and this drive-through, I've mentioned this before, they always write down, you know, what car you're in. You know, blue Ford or, you know, red Jeep or something like that. They always like doing shit like that. But the people that work at the drive-through, I guess don't know anything about vehicles and or can't read the logos of the vehicles. You know, I remember when I was a kid, you'd look at the headlights of a vehicle, and that's all you could see, the headlights. You could tell immediately what car it was. You could tell immediately what car it was and what car it wasn't. These kids just don't care or whatever, you know? So this, I can't even remember if it was a girl or a guy. But they're trying to guess. Your car is this a Buick? And without missing a beat, I said, you know, I'm 55 years old or 54, however old I was at the time. And I said, I'll never be old enough to drive a Buick. A Buick is just like my fucking grandmother, if she ever drove, which we didn't, my grandmothers did not know how to drive. My dad's mom was born, I was going to say the last century, but I was born in the last century. She was born in the 1800s, barely, but she was born in the 1800s, never drove. Just wasn't common. That's just like somebody's fucking grandmother's car, you know? Oldsmobile. Had that dream about about Gaslands and that Oldsmobile, that Olds 442 the other day. That this week? Was that Monday? Something like that. And at one point, I mean, that's a pretty muscular car. I mean, at some point, Oldsmobile just gave up and said, you know what? Fuck this. We're a car for old people. We're just going to make old people cars. And I don't know if they're still around or not. They may not be. I think Oldsmobile closed and Buick's still around. I think they're the same thing, right? Remember there's Pontiac too. All of them are GM. I don't know. Used to be able to recognize armored vehicles by sound alone and was able to determine variants by engine strain. Even the enemy ones? Oh shit, this is a BRDM. We're surrounded. That's going to be on my tombstone. Died at the old age of blank. Still was too old for a Buick. Still was too young for a Buick. Mostly American. I was a tanker in your youth. That's right, M68A1, right? You ever get to see those M103s? I think that's what they're called. The big monster one. It's like a stretch M60. That's a good looking tank. And I know they only made a couple hundred of them or something like that. I like those. And I also like the M47s. You know, like the ones that played the German tanks in Battle of the Bulge. You know, with the turret overhang. I always thought those looked pretty cool. So yeah, that's if I did some kind of a modern war game, which I'm not going to, but if I did, I'd want to do it in a time period where everybody has light, medium, and heavy tanks. Even though it's modern, it's so it's something like towards the end of Eisenhower, beginning of Kennedy, like a 59, 60, that kind of thing. You know, like Khrushchev, goes nuts or something like that, and A3. Oh, that's the modern one, man. I was around until the other day. I mean, anything from like the Gulf War, that's yesterday. I mean, I don't remember much from the 70s, but I remember a fair amount from the 80s and everything from the 90s. Well, don't need a black line on this thing. Let's weather and then do drippings. I'm going to go to the little boy's room and be right back. Yeah, we'll knock this joker out tonight. Well, I guess it's kind of a big mystery for some people how we do the weathering on this stuff. Maybe not you guys. It's like, man, it's just dry brushing, man. It's easy. And the Hoffman brushes make it even better. But honestly, I don't use the Hoffman brushes on like the last one. I don't want to waste it on the chocolate brown. There's no point using a Hoffman brush on that. What's a Hoffman brush? Well, you got to subscribe to my channel to know what the fuck I'm talking about. If you know, you know. M68-3s were easy to drive, could teach you in less than 5 minutes. I'm way down on a list of people that should be driving a tank. They don't get up to 60 miles an hour fast enough. I wouldn't have enjoyed being in the military. I would not have enjoyed being in the military. Mainly because of the bullshit. Now, I went to MEPS 3 times. Because I tried to join and it didn't work out. So, the people that I met and hung out with the night before, went to MEPS, every one of them was pretty fucking cool. I mean, I liked that part. I just wouldn't have done well with dig a hole, fill it back up, dig another hole where in the same place. No, we're not doing that. We're not fucking doing that shit, right? We're not doing that shit. That's stupid. I don't do stupid. Like, no wonder you fuckers can't win any wars lately. I don't do stupid. Let's do stuff. You finish painting your web belch. You're welcome. That's the whole point, man, to knock stuff out. That's why you do this. That's why I do this hobby. Well, I like to do it first thing in the morning, but that doesn't really necessarily work on a weekday. But, you have a sense of accomplishment. You had one up to 52 miles an hour. That's pretty fucking fast. Well, that sounds easy. That sounds faster than an Abrams. Oh, they're on an unlisted speed. Okay. Well, I'd ask you how fast it went if I gave a shit. The Abrams, I mean, like. All right, so this is going to have. This is one of these standard fare type of wheels. First you're like, oh man, all these wheels look cool, and then you keep seeing them again and regurgitated over and over again. I'm surprised that so many people don't know what wargaming is. I would have figured that there would have been enough exposure between all the Warhammer shit. But there's some people that just don't have a clue. Oh, so that's like reenactment. I said, no, I don't want to wear fucking wool. Trying to finish painting your toys before they put me in the ground. You got plenty of life left, man. You working because you have to, or just to stay busy? I hope it's because you have to. I'd like to think that that's never going to... I'm never going to have to work because I'm bored. I mean, I may have to work, longer than I want to because, bills have to be paid or whatever. But I'm not going to be like, I don't know what to do. Let me go into work. Fuck that. I ain't doing that shit. I'll be one of them baggers that's in your early 70s bagging groceries. Fuck that shit. I've done that before. It's called 1988, baby. Most people don't know game. What do they do? But yet they know about little cat videos and OnlyFans and shit like that. Look. The most interesting thing about gaming, I mean this seriously, is about making decisions. I don't want to play something that the decisions are already figured out for you. Like, what's the point? That's why I hate television, as a general rule. Like, it's already done for you. Whether you watch it, whether you don't watch it, whether you watch it at a certain time, doesn't matter what, it's all going to turn out the same. It's all going to turn out the same. You have no impact on what happens. You actually enjoy being a mailman. Well, I guess that's a good thing. I would not want to be a mailman. I wouldn't want to work for the government. Technically, do you guys work for the government or not? I think you probably don't, but you do. But everybody thinks you do. I would not want to work for the government. I don't want to work at a place this reminded me of this. I wouldn't want to work at a place now and or later where where I have to do things like if it was automated. So in other words, if they were able to replace you with a piece of machinery that always operates the same way no matter what, I'm not needed there. I don't need to do that job, right? I want a job where I can make decisions. And, I'm smart enough to like go, okay, this is out of my comfort zone. I better check with somebody else. But, it's empowering to make decisions. And it's not like I'm on some power trip, but it's like, it feels like you're fucking needed. If you're just like, stamping shit and it gets stamped the same way, whether you're there or Sally's there, like I'm not needed in that position, Your dream job is I don't even like go shopping at Walmart. My dream job is to make those dioramas you see at museums. I don't know. My dream job is to just fucking do this. That's pretty easy. It's good for your blood pressure. I don't want to wear a fucking uniform. I don't want somebody to tell me that I need to do something a certain way, in a certain order. Like, I should be able to figure that out. Like, I do things in a certain order because it's about critical path. But not like you have to do it this way, and this is the way you have to do it. It's not like it's some kind of federal regulation or the plane's going to crash. It's just like, I don't like being under somebody's fucking thumb. Like, you can just get somebody who misbehaves and doesn't know how to dress or whatever to do that. Like, I don't need that. I don't need that kind of, micromanaging. It's not empowering. Kind of, sort of. I don't carry my route the way I'm supposed to. Yeah! Fuck the man! Oh, wait. Talking about blood pressure, I got great numbers the other day when I had to take mine. Mine's great now. I took mine the other day, and it was fucked up. I think I saved it. I knew I took a picture of it. It was really fucking low. I mean, like, really low. Because my blood pressure is normally about... It was high 120s over 85. 85, 87, something like that. And that's before they put me on anything, which, everybody's on something. I took it 3 times. And it was, the first time I took it was 102 over 68. Like, that's fucking low. Like, am I 12 years old or something? 102 over 68. Then I took it again. That can't be right. Then it was 98 over 68. I'm like, there's no way. And then 106 over 69. I'm like, that's just too fucking low. I don't know. It's funny. Here's the one thing about blood pressure that I didn't realize. Or at least, I've taken my blood pressure when I felt like I've been stressed and it's not any higher. So the stress you feel is not necessarily blood. The stress that I feel when I feel stressed is not blood pressure related. It's something different, But anyways, I had my blood work done about a week ago. I got a doctor's appointment on Friday, which I hate fucking going to. And then I did my blood work, and everything's fucking green. I mean, I really didn't have any blood issues anyways. Some triglycerides sometimes are a little fatty liver shit. Not some ridiculous number, but just, up there because, you're fat, But this is the first time that everything has been like green. But I'm sure the bitch will find something to complain about. So... For the first time, probably only time, you're normal. So what'd you do different? I'm already past the life expectancy for males in my family. I never met any grandfathers. Both of my grandfathers died in Cuba before Castro. So both of my grandfathers died in the 50s. I fell down steps landing on your face a couple years ago, cut your lip and broke your arm. Don't do that again. God. Paramedics were more concerned about my stroke level blood pressure. Yeah. We had this one, I'm going to call it a skinny guy at work. Okay? Because by my standards, yeah, it was skinny. I mean, I was skinny when I started working there, but I started working there when I was 23. You know? Shit happens. You get older, your metabolism goes out for a hike. It never comes back. And this guy was significantly skinnier than I was. And he claimed that he had all kinds of blood issues. Oh, I don't know. Maybe he just didn't eat a balanced meal. I don't know. Genetic. I'd like to say I'm excited to go to the doctor, but I don't like going to the doctor at all. Just like some people don't like going to the dentist, I like going to the dentist. Okay? I've fallen asleep while I've been at the dentist before. But the doctor, you can have the first appointment in the morning. They're never on fucking time. They're always late. I got to go to work. You know. Pain in the ass. Okay. When I got to go all the time, or they cut me off my meds. All right. Now we will pull out the world famous Hoffman brushes. Yep, they're named after you. You fucking gave me the idea, and they're fucking awesome. Well, we don't want to name something shitty after you. '50s, mine too. The fall probably saved my life. Taking medications for blood pressure and pre-diabetes. Well, I take 4 pills. Don't ask me what they are because the name of them's like this long, but I've lost some weight, and I think that between that and so the latest thing in being an old fucker, like 2 months ago, I started getting this really bad cramp in my it was my left, what is this called? Left, not thigh. What's it called? The calf, like really bad, and just on one side. So now I gotta wear them fucking whatever socks or whatever, the compression socks. Cured it immediately. So, I'm officially an old fucker. Getting tired, going to bed. How much longer are you gonna be on? I'm gonna finish this son of a bitch. I'm gonna finish this. I mean, we just pulled out the Hoffman brushes, man. Don't go to sleep. Go make some popcorn. I don't know why people struggle with, and don't get me wrong, these brushes are great, but if I wasn't using them, this stuff would still look good. But I think the secret is like, a lot of people, I think, when they go to dry brush, they try to knock everything out in the first pass. And it's a slow build, you know? I mean, you could do it, but then you're like, man, why doesn't that look very good? Well, because you rushed it, dude. There's no reason to rush it. You got somewhere to be? Enjoy the journey. Like, this is a relaxing part. I don't give a shit how long this takes. You know, it's just a steady build. 2 hours? You're going to be on another 2 hours? All right, well, we might have to shift over to your show. But that's why I started doing this, because I'm getting things accomplished. I'm staying on track. That second cup of coffee woke me up. You know, in case you can't tell, I get excited. I don't care if I ever drink alcohol again, but I ain't cutting out caffeine. Fuck no. I wouldn't get anything done. I'd make a terrible Mormon. That's how you get shit done. Now, the bad thing about a black vehicle is it's almost like a waste of time putting rust and stuff on it because it's not that noticeable. Almost to the point where I may not do any drippings at all on this thing. When I first started doing this kind of stuff, oh, all right, we'll listen to music. And then you get bored of the music or you're switching channels. And then you listen to, like, talk radio. Well, talk radio is all like politics or sports. Although I could listen to Formula One stuff, but that's new. That's only, in the last month. I don't listen to freaking, I don't listen to politics or sports or none of that shit, Worst thing about sports is people watch it and it's like their fucking religion. And they're like, they've never met these people. And all of a sudden they're like, defending them from like, they're like their freaking hero. And they're, it's just like, I just don't get it. I just don't get getting that excited or motivated about somebody that is not related to you. You're never going to meet. And if you did meet them, you'd realize that they have all kinds of flaws. And they're people that I wouldn't want to hang out with anyways. But I guess maybe I'm the exception to the rule. I don't know, People that if you met them, they never even would have the time of day for you. Yeah, like these people that go to like these comic cons. Would it be cool to like have your picture taken next to somebody that, you have some kind of a, maybe it's a show or they're an actor you like? Sure, but I don't want to like hang out with them or whatever. I mean, they're, it'd just be nice for like a memento. Like, okay, yeah, I was here. Same thing, your DBA awards. I don't give a fuck about my DBA awards. None of them are up. But it's nice to have some award that reminds me about some experience that I had while I was, doing some event at some part in my life. That's it. I don't want to, hang out with, whoever it is, because we're going to be like best buds or something. But I'm probably the exception. Wouldn't say I want to have a picture taken with them, but that's it. That's where, we don't need to have a conversation or, Famous people are living in a different galaxy than the rest of us, And it's not something that I'm, that I think is something to be sought after. Like, I don't want to be famous. This is a super basic paint scheme, but it works. And I don't mind repainting stuff, but, if I had a second one of these, sure, I wouldn't want them both to be black. But like, okay, it already comes in black. Will that work for you? Yeah. Let's roll with that. Let's put a little bit on the grill. And this fucker's like done. This Joker's like done. Pretty simple build. Pretty simple build. We're going to use Implements of Carnage. If I run out of stuff and I got to spend $30 to order another set, then that's good, because you know what? That means I use the ones that I have. But see if I can take a photo of this thing, and it won't do it justice. The human eye is so damn advanced, and I suck at taking photos. And I'm pretty patient, but I'll take photos like 4 times. After that, one of those is the one I'm sticking with. I'm not going to keep, this just doesn't look that impressive. I mean, probably one of the more Gaslandic vehicles. Gaslandic vehicles I've done. And the nice thing is, this guy's off the table. I'm looking at this, I'm like, this fucker looks pretty good. And I don't know the human eye just, it doesn't mute colors. It's like, it's there. And, that's what I see. And I'm adjusting the colors for what I see, not for what may or may not look good on the photo. But I want to do another Italian vehicle next. I want to do another Italian vehicle. And I want to do the white Maserati. Was it an MC2 or something like that? I think it's a Boulevard. Hot Wheels Boulevard white Maserati. Yep. See if I was right with an MC2. I don't know my Maserati. I am not in the market for them. MC20. I was close. Yeah, this thing. Not going to get repainted. It's going to be white. But I want to hit the ground running. I want to hit the ground running on this thing. So, let's go here. Doesn't mean I'm going to go with any of this. I have a Hot Wheels model of a white Maserati MC20. I want to build it for Gaslands. Give me some ideas for names that would be appropriate for this vehicle. If the names are in Italian, that's even better. See what it comes up with. I'm not even going to say what it translates everything like perfectly. Let's see what it says. And I have another Maserati. It's a Scania or something like that. Just like a standard sedan. Okay, I like the Bianco names. White Ghost, White Death, the White Widow, White Blade, White Fang, White Viper, White Devil, the Phantom of Modena, referencing Maserati's home city. Okay. White Assassin, White Storm, White Fury, White Reaper, White Vengeance, Deadly Silence, Last Breath, Beautiful Death, Damns, Beautiful Death. Nah, I don't like that. Ghost of the Road, Fast Death, La Morte Veloce. Well, I'm not going to use Veloce because my other vehicle is going to be Velociraptor. And that is the twin for the Jackal. Actually, fuck it. Let's grab some Italian vehicles, okay? Let's put this away. You say you want to be on another 2 fucking hours. Let's go to town. I'm wound up now. We'll stop at 10. Eastern Standard Time. The only time zone that fucking matters. And I have some loose Italian vehicles too that aren't in packaging. Well, I might actually have a repeat. Son of a bitch. God damn, I have a lot of vehicles. Okay, these are open already. This is the vehicle I think I have a repeat of. We'll find out here shortly. Let's go to the other table. Let's put everything away. I don't think I have any loose Italian vehicles. I don't think so. So this can go away. Let's close this up. We don't want to leave this half open and then have it tilt. I like looking at these fucking toys, man. This really is a cool hobby, and I really don't understand how they can make them. I really don't understand how they can make them for $1. I really don't understand it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. You could make them with slaves. It still doesn't add up. I mean, hopefully they don't make them with slaves. Whoa! Ha-ha! Extra points for that save. That would have been bad. We do not need to buy another computer. No, this one's going on 6 years old. We're gonna let it run as long as we can. It hasn't been giving me any issues, but then this is pretty much all I use it for. That would have been really fucking bad. You switched to the rifle stocks. Okay, cool, excellent. I'm gonna go little boy's room again. Of course, I'm drinking coffee. Sir P a lot. I'll be right back. Yeah, I don't think I want to sit around and do like a shitload of vehicles for the same team. And that's the beauty of this, as opposed to doing something like DBA. Oh, I gotta build another squad, or I gotta build 12 more stands, or fuck that. Life's too short. That sounds like stuff that they pay me for. All right. Let's see what the Italianos we have here. We didn't get any new Italian vehicles, did we? I don't believe so. No. All right. This, well, we're going to put them in there as well. I cock blocked myself by putting this here. All right, let's go into the large bin. And I gave up on trying to organize this. It's like impossible. I just have too many. But I don't mind rummaging through here and pulling some out. So this should show up okay. So what do we have here? We have a Ferrari 365 in yellow. Okay. We have this Fiat 300e, 500e. What else do we have? Lamborghini Centenario Roadster. Another Lamborghini Huracan. Another Lamborghini Gallardo. I don't know if that's how you say it in Italian, but that's how I would say it. Lamborghini Reventone. See, all those are like perfect colors. Like, they're staying that color. What else do we have in here? Here's that Maserati, the MC20. That's a Jaguar. I do have an Olds 442. Holy shit. I had a dream about this the other fucking day. I own an Olds 442. That's moving up in the queue. Here's a Ferrari 365 in red. And I know I have one in the Italian colors as well. Here's an Alfa Romeo Giulia. That's going to be like Orangina something or another. That's a McLaren, so that's not a... Here's a Ferrari Dosse Cilindri. Here's a Lamborghini Estoque. It's like a family sedan, yeah. Not that kind of fucking money in it. What else do we have? Formula One cars. Where's let's go ahead and stock these ones back in that we just picked up today. Well, let me look through here and then we'll... Here's that red, white, and green. Count Muscula. Those are Renault. What do I have Formula? Okay, I have this loose Formula One car. And then I have this set of these. And then I have this set of 10. And I just picked up another Aston Martin. So I picked up another one of these. There's no Aston Martin. There's the second kick that I have. Yeah, that Aston Martin that I got today, I'm gonna turn that into some vehicle. Okay. I think that's enough for now. I may have a couple of other ones, but this is certainly enough to pick from. Alright, so we'll restock this with, here's that Aston Martin. I have an Olds 442. I'm going to buy one. I did look for them, but shipping keeps me from buying shit, and I don't want to pay that. If it's $1, I'll buy 100 things for $1, but I don't want to like. I don't want to spend $6 shipping on anything. And no, these are just in the package just for, so they don't get damaged until I do something with them. Not like, are you collecting them? I don't fucking collect shit. I can paint stuff. I don't need to collect things. Flip those guys upside down. Yeah, that's relatively civilized. What do we got here? All right, let's take a look at what we pulled out. Turkey out of the freezer, huh? And I could probably fit another 200 cars in there. Not that I want to go get another 200 cars, but finished 2 cars in 2 days. So, hey, if I'm doing a car a day, which is not feasible, I still have enough cars for 2 years. I'll find a place to put them. I'm having too much fun with this. Well, if I collect them, that basically means I'm not going to pull them out of the package. I think I have another one of these, or this may be the one that I'm thinking of. Now, let's see what kind of, let's get the super glasses on. Let's see what's written on the bottom of it. This is, what does it say? Huracan Sterato. Sterato. So it is an hurricane, but not the same one. This is a Huracan Coupe. Different wheels. I like this one better. I like this one better. What else we got? These are ones I saved from the. This is an Alpha 8C. That one's pretty nice. I think every one of these, none of them are going to get repainted. And the cool thing is look at the color scheme. They're all like, I mean, other than, I'm probably going to keep this red 64. And I don't mind, because these have 2 different numbers, but the fact that there's a yellow 64, like, I'm not going to keep this one in the original color and the red one. That's stupid. So, that doesn't look like a Lamborghini. And I want to say I have a bunch of Fiats. They must be loose somewhere. I think I have a bunch of Fiats. Like 4 or something like that. I can't believe I have an old 442. Well, this fucker's going to have to get repainted. Because I don't want Hot Wheels on the side of it. And I must have gotten this recently. I bet this was from the store in, that was the junkyard. A 2015. Pretty fucking cool. Well, I'm going to put a gun off center on it. That way it'll be a tie into that dream. You know, I'm wasting my time dreaming about stupid shit like that. I think we're going to do the Maserati. I'll put these other guys down. I talked about it. I'll put these away later. I don't have a Maserati yet. Here's the other Maserati Shamal. Mundane-ish looking car. I mean, it's a good looking car. It almost looks like a Audi Quattro or something like that. It's a good looking car. My wife would probably say, I don't like it. It's too square looking. I said, well, that's how cars used to look. And I like the way those cars look. I like squarish type cars. Turkey set to thaw. A little early for Thanksgiving, man. I can't believe I have an Olds 442. Son of a bitch. Oh, I've been running without the power connected. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this was expensive. This is like $7 for this thing. I mean, I consider that expensive. Everything else is. This thing's got to have like a laser or something like that. It's futuristic looking. All right, here we go. Son of a bitch. You save your cards? Fuck no. Ooh, it's got rubber wheels. Nice. Well, that's interesting. It almost looks like it's got carbon fiber. It's heavy. Oh, that's really nice. Too bad you're going to be a Gaslands vehicle, pal. I can't believe I have an Olds 442. That's unbelievable. Wonder what year it is. I ought to paint this like one of the Olds was. That's how. This is how you get an education. I remember waking up and I'm like, okay, an Olds 442. Do I have one? And I'm like, I don't think I do. I did. Let's go here. Let's add this photo here. I have this Hot Wheels of an Olds 442 W30. What year is it? What year is this Oldsmobile supposed to be? I don't care that it's 2015. I want to know what. 70, 72, something like that. I'm checking the casting. It's supposed to be a 1970 Oldsmobile 442 W30. Hot Wheels leaves the year off the package, calling it simply the Olds 442 W30, but the body styling represents the celebrated 1970 model. The huge off-road suspension and tires are, of course, Hot Wheels' fictional monster truck modification. Standard 1970 W30 was quite a machine, 455 cubic inch V8 functional hood scoops, and roughly 370 advertised horsepower. It should make an excellent, suitably brutal Gaslands vehicle. Okay. On this real vehicle, what colors did it come from the factory?